Alright everyone, I have a happy announcement to make, which is that as of last night, I paid off the last $20,000 that I owed in student loans, lock, stock, and barrel. I'm now completely debt-free. Of course, I paid off my car a long time ago, even though it's sitting with 4 on the floor and probably without a carburetor at this point over in Rutland, so I don't know, I might get $20 for it or something like that. I'll look into the cost of repairing. It's probably more than the cost of the vehicle at this point. I'm happy about this. I did a little bit of celebrating last night, of course, because, going from years and years and years of being burdened by debt to having none, that's, of necessity, it's a fun thing. Now, I'm not making this video to brag. I'm just explaining this to people with regards to my thoughts on student loans, because I realize that especially people in my age range, we were lied to, right? Our boomer, teachers and stuff said, if you just go to college and take out a bunch of debt in the process. Of course, if you just go to college and have reasonable grades, if you just pass your courses, when you graduate, you'll get $40K to start. The loans will take care of themselves, don't worry, and you won't be flipping burgers. Basically, you'll get a comfier job. You won't have to work as hard and you'll make more money, basically. We were lied to. Around the time that I was entering college, the Great Recession hit, jobs were nowhere, housing market collapses, everything's all messed up. I did so many sign-ups for trying to get jobs, putting in my form with, my work information, which was scanned. It was basically a few self-employed positions. Trying to get my foot in the door, I couldn't even get a fucking janitorial position because, you'd have 20 applicants. One person would have 10 years experience, another person would have a PhD. I'm at the bottom of the barrel. Ended up dropping out of UVM. I don't regret having gone there, despite the amount of money that it just cost me. There were a few courses I took at UVM that were legitimate. Linguistic anthropology, I've talked about that. That definitely informed some of my views. There was a course called Paganism and Christianity, which was about the history of the latter-day pagan movement and the early burgeoning Christian movement and sort of the interplay there and their counter-philosophies. That was an amazing course. And of course, I got to eat Ben & Jerry's, which people don't want to do anymore, and hang out and smoke weed and stuff like that. So I don't regret you going to UVM, just to be clear. I regret the fact that UVM was, at least at that time, the most expensive in-state university for people who were in-state tuition. It was expensive. I didn't rack up that much debt the year I was at Castleton State University, formerly Castleton State College. I liked that better. It was a little bit more low-key. UVM's in an actual city, and I really don't like cities that much. I want to go gardening and shit. I want a college that's all a bunch of rustic gardens, and you just show up there and the professor's in a toga or something like that. That'd probably be a better schooling experience, to be honest, although in Vermont's climate, I suppose it's not doable, unless you make igloos. But my student loan debt is gone. And one reason that I decided to pay it off last night, first, I looked at my finances. I looked at our income as a family, our cost of living, savings, and so forth, and I said, student loan repayment begins again in September. Should I pay the interest on this? And it's positive for your credit, so there's one advantage. Should I do that and pay a bit more and just over time, or should I just say fuck it? And at the end, I just decided to say fuck it. I'm tired of having any debt at all. I don't want that because, of course, debt is a form of control over people, and I decided to eliminate it. Secondly, with all of Biden's shenanigans, I'm actually worried that there could be some sort of student loan debt forgiveness applied to me, and I told people long ago, I don't want to accept that. I've been under the heel of government before. I've been reliant on food stamps for a few months, many years ago, for example. I know what it's like to be on the very bottom, to take food stamps and scrounge up butts in the fucking parking lot. I don't want anything to do with that anymore. I'm capable of better things than that. I don't begrudge anyone who's in that position, and trust me, I do not look down on you because I've been down there on the goddamn ground, largely because government fucking sucks. Can't manage an economy. But now that I don't have to worry about that, I don't want somebody who never went to college to have to absorb even a penny of the cost of my education. I dropped out anyway. I didn't even get a diploma, so why the hell should somebody else have to pay for it? I want people to know at the end of the day, I did it my way. I did it myself. I accomplished something. I went from owing, at peak it was over $40,000, to owing nothing. And I did it myself through my own hard work. The government didn't need to help me. About the only thing that the government intervened with was giving this perpetual forbearance, which they might try to kick down the road even further through some EO or something anyway. But I'm tired of dealing with it. I don't want to have any student loan account. I don't want to have to log in every month to see my balance. I don't want to have to deal with some fucking group. I mean, they transferred my loans as well from Great Lakes to Nelnet, and I'm like, I never authorized this. It's good to know that anyone under the sun can own my debt. How lovely. It's almost like being a fucking goddamn slave. No thank you. So I've exempted myself from that. I'm student loan debt free. I want you to know that if some sort of debt forgiveness goes through, you don't have to pay for my education. I did it myself. I took responsibility, and that's what other people should do as well. There are plenty of people out there that are poor through no fault of their own. They can't find work, or their work sucks. They're working double shift at Wendy's, like many people, to buy groceries because of Bidenflation. I understand. You're never going to get a word of ire from me because in many cases it's not a person's fault. They're working 60 hours a week, still can't make ends meet. Give them a fucking goddamn break. I know the feeling. But I wanted people to know that in my case, I managed to do it on my own. I'm not asking you for any handouts student loan wise. Felt good to press that button, by the way. It's actually a little bit of a lift to the mood. Yeah, I was having a fun time. I listened to some Sabaton afterwards and felt pretty great. It was a little bit of a rush. So, yeah. Fuck you, Joe Biden. I don't need your fucking debt forgiveness. Anyway, you wouldn't have applied it to me because I made too much money, probably. That's about all. Peace out.